Namaste and Jai Mohanji, everybody. My name is Pooja, and I'm a Mohanji Acharya, one of the Mohanji Acharyas from Canada. Today, I consider myself really privileged to sit and have a conversation with my fellow Mohanji Acharya sister, Mirela. Mirela, who is originally from Croatia, but has been living in Peru in Latin America for past 30 years. She is an amazing energy and full of fun and love. I'm not going to wait any longer. Let me introduce Mirela. Hi, hola Mirela.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. I know that. I know little bit. I know little bit. Thank you so much, Mirela, for doing this. I appreciate
it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's going to be fun. I mean, it is already fun. I'm really having a good time.
Oh, fantastic. I'm happy to hear that, Mirela. So just the purpose, we're going to just talk a little bit about your journey and your spiritual journey. So let's start from the beginning, before you met Mohanji. Was there any indication, or were there any signs where you felt that I needed to be on a spiritual path, or I wanted a living master or a guru?
Well, I mean, my story is a little bit different. I think then if we compare that to somebody else's story, I mean, all of our stories are unique, first of all. But what I could say about my story is that, I mean, I'm 54 and I grew up in a communist country, and my family was communist, and we didn't have religion classes at school. And as my parents and my grandparents were members of Communist Party, we were not going to a church. So I didn't have absolutely any type of connection with anything related with spirituality. I mean, I can even say that spirituality was seen as a weakness. Yeah, it was seen as a weakness because, well, for them it was, it was more like, it wasn't spirituality, it was like religion. Because for communist systems, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to work hard for the goals of the party. And that is, and your hard work is going to bring a well-being to everybody, and eventually to a party as well, and to a country. So, for example, if you believe in a God, it means that you are not strong enough.
Oh,
you as an individual, right, that you're not strong enough, or that you don't believe in a party or in a system. And as well, for them, religion is, like, it is just like opium for masses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is the way how it, that is the way. So that is, you see, the situation where I was. So, for example, when I would see a nuns or a priest, I always had that feeling, like, wow, they're so weak, and they're so manipulating people, because that is what I've been taught.
Yeah.
But then, and I mean, I never went to a mass or to a church. I went first time, to a church when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11. I don't really remember, but it was a school trip, and it was an old church, and we went there because of, like the history, the value of that place. So. But then when I was maybe like 15, and this, of course, we are talking, that was, like 45 years ago. So you didn't have internet, and I mean, you didn't have, so many things, that you have now. So basically, you had all the information that, I mean, you could see on national TV that was communist, right? And that was it.
And what you were taught, that's
exactly. So, but what was good about my family, and what I, it is that, for example, we were always sharing a lot with the people, And that is, I think something that is very characteristic for people from Balkan region. Because historically speaking, as we have been, through so many wars and very difficult situations, and I mean, I'm talking about centuries, right?
Yeah.
So the only way how to survive was, to get together and to help each other. You see,
Okay.
so that was very present in my family, and as well. I mean, my grandfather, he was like a real hardcore communist, and that means, if I have two, and he would say that, and that was what he taught me, right? So if I have two shirts and you don't have one, I'm going to give you one of mine. So that was so, and that's, of course, I was, like a member of a scout organization. So, there was this, and we would go, to the campings together, helping, with reforesting, recycling, so it was, there was a lot of, let's say, community, right? There was like, a lot of community work. Exactly. But not, like, okay, there is something or somebody, that is higher than me. No. And then I remember I was maybe like 15 or 14, really, I don't remember. And I read a story, and I don't know if that is a story from India, but it was a story, like, it was like about, okay, if I have a negative thoughts, and if my thoughts, and I have those thoughts, let's say, thoughts about you. So I'm sending you a cloud of those negative thoughts. And if you have as well some negative thoughts, so that means that you have a hook, and that my negative thoughts are going, like, even be heavier for you because you already have that, that weight. But if you don't have that hook, those negative thoughts are going to come back to me.
Oh,
okay. You see, I don't know. I mean, I read that story, but it was, like 40 years ago, and it made so big impression on me, And I said, oh, yeah, so there must be something, about thoughts and energies, and the way how you deal with people, so if you, if you're like positive, then that is going to come back to you, so there was those notions, but there was nothing, related to spirituality. And then when I was at university, I had friends, even before, who were religious. And what I, admired and somehow envy, quote unquote envy, it was, like that, that feeling that they can lean on something bigger than them, and I couldn't feel that, that there is something that can hold you. But I couldn't feel it, I just had a wish, but I mean, so I would go to church. I went to church, to a mass, but of course I didn't feel anything. And so it was, like that. So of course, yes, I started reading, a lot of books about Buddhism, about Christianity as well, so many things. And all of them were, like I like them, they made sense, but somehow I wasn't processing them, they were not becoming like the part of me. Well, now I know that even that was, the part of my journey.
It's a part of your journey.
Exactly, that was supposed to be like that. Okay, so and then in 2016. So I mean, I was like, I was like 49, a late bloomer. I call myself late bloomer, right?
There's no such thing. We know. While you were telling your story, I'm thinking, wow, you did have a spiritual inclination. Like if you think about it, like even for you to think about, oh, I envy them because they have something to lean on. So somewhere you felt that you wanted to lean on something, like there is something you were already searching.
Definitely. There was that calling, but I just and then I mean I got married very young. You know, I was 23 or 22 when I got married. And then, you know, it was, you know, like your studies, a job, a family. I was in a new country, you know, so it was okay, you buy apartment, you study more, you work, you raise, you know, I raised my daughter, you know, as a marriage. So, and then as well here in Peru, I didn't have, you know, a lot of people, you know, to talk about those topics. You know, because yes, there were people who were spiritual, but probably they were like younger generations. You see, or they were maybe like people from, you know, like Incas background, you know, who had that connection with Mother Earth and Andes. But the type of life that I was living here in Peru, I didn't have any contact with them. Yeah. So it was, so yes, it was somewhere around me, but you know, but it wasn't that, you know, it was somewhere, but it wasn't, you know, like that I could like touch it or feel it. So, and I was never like meditating. I mean, I would just read. Yes, I was like reading a lot. And then in 2016, actually first time I met Devi. When I went back to Croatia to visit my mom, so there was a meditation there, and that was my first meditation in life. And I just recently talked about that. You know, it was, I mean, I didn't like the experience at all because, you know, my back, you know, it was cold. I couldn't. My mind was, you know, like. The roller coaster running everywhere.
It still happens to me though. When I meditate, it's still scattered. Yes.
Yeah.
Continue. Yes, please.
Yeah. I mean, that's that. Now I'm calling it. It's like, you know, like it's like a naughty child. You know, I don't want to call my mind as a drunken monkey. You know, I prefer to call it, you know, as a naughty child. You know, so come here, dear. You know. Yeah. So, you know, when it's like scattering, you know, all around, you know, and so, but then after the meditation, Devi was, you know, talking about Mohanji, and I don't know, there was something there that just
hooked you,
clicked, you know, something happened there. And when I came back here to Peru, well, I started, you know, like with the videos on YouTube and the reading. And there was, of course, so many things, you know, from India, you know, that I didn't understand what they were talking about, you know, like Vishnu, Krishna, Shiva, every Shakti, you know, everything. Like so many names, I was, you know, like lost, you know, what's going on here. But I would just read, you see, I was just like, okay, read, it doesn't matter, you know, okay, I don't understand names. And then, you know, like the rest of the things, you know, that he was talking about, you know, I said, yeah, that is exactly, you know, I've been feeling that, you know, but I've never, I didn't know how to put that into words, you know, and so, and I mean, and everything that Mohanji was saying, it wasn't something new for me, you know, because everything that he's saying is not new, because, but it was, I don't know.
Impactful.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was that connection, right? And then I think when you like really connect, or at least when there is that longing for something like that, because I mean, I didn't know anybody, you know, who was following him. It was just me. You know, it was like for a year and a half, I was just here like reading everything that I could and listening to his videos, watching his videos. And of course, as I'm very talkative and I was talking to all my friends, you know, oh, look at this, what he said, this is exactly true, you see, you know, you know, and then of course, as it happens, you know, I took a year off. Well, I got divorced, and actually, reason why I left my marriage was that one that I want to follow, you know, a different path, because we got married very young, and and my ex-husband, he was always, oh, yeah, you're just jumping from one guru to guru. But he was, but I didn't even have a guru. But he would always, say, yeah, you're going to end up in ashram in India. But
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I hope that happens.
Exactly, right. And but that was before Mohanji. So he was always, like taking that my search as something funny, entertaining, and he didn't see how important that was for me. Yes. And even I didn't know, but I just knew that something was missing, and I was all the time looking for something, So as well, I think that it wasn't that easy to live with me, you see, with somebody who is, like looking all the time for something. You see, so in spite of having everything, like a marriage, a job, a nice apartment, health, daughter, friends, but I was all the time, there was something,
missing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got divorced. I took a year off, and my daughter, she went to Argentina to study, and I went to Croatia to be with my mom for some time. And there was a retreat on Hvar Island. And actually, there was where I met him.
Mohanji.
Yes, but I met Mohanji for the first time. And then as well, we went to Bosnian pyramids after that. So it was, like
one after another, something.
Yes. And so that was the like the real, when I could see more people, like talking about his teaching. Yes. So it was so I don't know. So that would be like second phase, like first phase was, just me like reading, and then the second phase was when I could like feel, because I remember that at the retreat, like we would sit, there, and wait for him. We would like music, people were chanting, I was just, like, okay, because I didn't have any idea, songs, and I said, I would sit, but then I would like feel like a wave of energy, like go, like passing through my body. And then like after 20 or 30 seconds, Mohanji would appear on the door, And I was like, what's, and then as well, when there were like meditations there, and he was there sitting with us, I couldn't feel my body, and everything went, like lilac. And I remember, and then Mohanji told me, and I was like, oh, this feels good. This feels good, And then after the meditation, Mohanji said something like, oh, you had a good trip, right, Mirela? And I was like, oh.
He knows exactly what to say to each one of us.
Yeah. So I was like, what's going on here, I know. So, but it was, and there's that experience, that I always go back to that experience of hugging him for the first time, because I remember that everybody was hugging him, and then I said, well, okay, so if everybody, when you're in Rome, then you should do what Romans do, So I went there and asked him, so can I hug you, and he told me, how he's so sweet, and he said, sure, And I remember that I hugged him, and that was, like, as well, like, before and after, because that is the moment I had never felt that. I have never felt that again, that feeling. But always, when I feel like low or doubtful, I go back to that feeling, and I always say that it was beautiful, because I just I hugged him, but I'm very tall, right? So it was, I'm taller than Mohanji, So
me too. So I actually have to bend my feet, and I hug him like that.
Yeah. So so our bellies, like we're like together, like belly to belly, and I just felt this. such a calmness. It was, I just had a feeling that I'm in the depth of the oceans, you know, that I'm floating. And at the same time, I felt so loved and protected.
Yeah.
You know, it was absolutely incredible, you know. And it was, you know, actually that was because my father, for example, he would never hug me or kiss me, you know. So I really, I've never had that feeling, you know, that there is somebody there that is really, you know, like protecting me, you know. And that was it. So that was that combination, you know, of love, calmness, and protection.
Yeah. And you know, I would add to that, because I remember, you know, I met Mohanji 2014, his first visit to Canada, and I remember, you know, putting just my head on his lap, and then he puts his hand right here. I have never felt that kind of love ever, never. So I completely relate to what you're saying when you hugged him, how you felt, because I've never felt that kind of love from anybody.
Yeah.
Even though I have very loving parents, I still haven't, nothing matches the love that he showers on us. It never. So Mirela, sorry, I'll just come back to a few things you said. So
yes.
So one thing I wanted to know, so you came from like a communist background, like, you know, like that background, and now you are with like spirituality, right? So I'm trying to think, oh my God, I'm like, how? And so first of all, how did you adapt to some of the things, like, you know, doing aartis, or, you know, touching the feet of the guru, because these are not things you have been raised with, right? Not something part of your culture. For us, because I'm an Indian, this is so natural. I mean, I don't even think twice before doing that. But for you, it's probably like, why should I touch somebody's feet? So how did you adapt to that? And then how is it, like, what was your mindset when you said, hey, I have taken Mohanji as my guru, and I have accepted him, and this
well,
is...
actually, I've never said that to myself, you know, because I've never said I'm accepting him as my guru, because I had never had that thought of like looking for guru and what it means, you know, because that vocabulary just didn't exist in my life.
Okay.
You know, so
you still haven't said it. You still haven't said that.
No. I still haven't said it, but because I don't know, because I just feel that those are just words. Because but for example, I have that, and it was crazy, you know, I have that vision. I mean, I had several visions, so probably, you know, in my past lives, I was there in India, you know, and for example, I always had that vision of me prostrating, you see, and touching his feet, you know. I always, last time when he was here in Peru, I asked him, can I prostrate and touch your feet, you know? And because I know that I think that women don't do that. That you prostrate, you know.
Completely, we don't see. Okay, I see. So you did that? Did you do the complete?
Yes, and he told me, yes, sure. You see, and so I think, probably those are some memories, you know, but I mean, I'm not questioning, you know, as I hadn't had any type of any guru before. So, you know, and he is the first one that I really made a connection. So it is for me just logical that he is the one. Right. So I don't have, probably as the people from India, I don't have, you know, that type of, I don't know if I can call it like thoughts or conflict, because it is just the way. Exactly.
Fantastic. And so what about doing Aarti and everything? Did it just come naturally to you?
Yeah, for example, well, I remember, first time when I saw Aarti on Hvar Island, I was like, what's going on? What is she doing with that light, you know? Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm really not, I lit a candle, right? And then when I'm doing it, but I'm not, I don't have that discipline or that type of connection, you know, that I'm like doing it often, even though, I mean, I've done it. And then while I'm doing it, you know, I have the whole movie, you know, going on in my mind, you know, because it is, I just cannot, you know, like look at a picture or something and do this. That doesn't make any sense for me.
Okay.
You know, I don't feel it. You
Yes,
see,
yes, absolutely.
so and then when I'm doing it, I'm just, you know, like having this the whole. It's so funny, you know, that I'm having this like old movie in my head, you know, like. And usually I do it like it's like Mohanji and Devi together, right?
Yeah.
So like first, you know, I'm like I have this movie how, you know, I'm bathing both of them, you know, with lotus flowers, you know, and then I put, you know, with the birds, you know, they put silk around them, and then, you know, I give them, you know, like food. So it's like a whole movie, and then both of them they go to sleep, and you know, they're like they're sleeping, and I'm like in front of the door. Like protecting them. So this is like the whole movie that I have in my head when I'm doing
I've
it.
never heard something like that. I think this is superb. I think it's so amazing.
And then incredible thing happened that when we were on this retreat in 2019 in Serbia, in Kopaonik, right? Actually, I was the one who was in charge of people who were having a one-on-one with Mohanji, and I was taking care of the door. You know, so I was actually
wow, amazing.
Yeah, so I said, "There you go." You see, so I had that. You know?
It's like it's like you manifest your own reality. So there you were thinking of something and you manifested it right there.
Yeah. It was, I mean, and I was like, look at me, you know, here. This is incredible, you know.
I think it's superb. I absolutely love this. I really do. I think I'm going to start doing this now. Imagine a movie and start doing that. That is
and then as well, you know, I imagine, you know, like how like they're having, you know, like a beautiful food, delicious food in front of them, and there, you know, there's some people are singing and they're enjoying it, you know, and then they. And I mean, it's like, but it's, you know, like a whole movie, you know, with the doors open and moon and the stars and the curtains moving with with the wind, you know, and I'm there, you know, and there's a lot of light blue electric color, you know, because the house is that color and curtains. And I'm there, you know, as a dog, you know, as a dog in front of the house in that position, I'm taking care of them, you know.
I think this is like one of those Bollywood movies. If you see the colorful one, I think you created an entire script.
And I think that I seen just this is my cat. Okay, so and. So this is, and I mean, and I've never, I think that I'm not sure if I've ever seen, you know, like a Bollywood movie. So it is just, there are some things, you know, that is very difficult to explain, you know, why I have them. Then, for example, when I was reading the story of Shankaracharya, I think, I just started crying, you know, without any reason, you know, when there was like a Shankaracharya and his mom. It was crazy, you know. And then as well in that story, it was, you know, they were talking, you know, and I as well, you know, I would do mantras, you know. I saw a place, you know, with like mountains and a river and a palace, and I was dancing there. And I think it's Rishikesh. It's in the mountains, I think.
Rishikesh.
Yes, and then I was reading the story of Shankaracharya. I think it was his story, and then it says that he went to Rishikesh, and I read the name and I started crying, and then I went to internet and I was like looking for the images, and that image was the image that I had, you know, while I was doing mantras, you know. So you see, so there are some things like I really can't explain, you know, and it is.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible, right?
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. Not everything can be very easily explained. So, no, totally get it. So, I think this was probably one of my best part of the conversation. I can't believe it. It's so amazing. But but one thing I would say though, like, it's important, I think, for the viewers to know that. Mohanji does not expect any aartis. He doesn't expect you to touch his feet or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
There is nothing. He allows you the complete freedom to worship him in the way,
Oh yeah.
way you want.
Yeah. Oh, that is actually the thing, that I really love about him, and that is about him and his teachings, because you don't have to wear anything special, behave, he's just accepting absolutely everything, so I love it because, so this is, this is something that for me is, I don't know, it is, like a game changer, because usually they say, no, you have to wear white clothes. No, you have to do this, you have to do that. He just tells you, look, these are your options. You can do it or not. It depends, on your trip, on your journey. So it goes really very well with me, because I think as well, because I have a certain age, so I'm let's say, for me it is, like, I'm not going to say, I don't, but I mean, I know that just wearing a certain color, nothing is going to change in my life. I know, I mean, it's not about clothes, you see.
It's about your inner journey. Absolutely.
Exactly. So it's not even about doing meditations, because it's not about doing anything. Actually, it's about just being and feeling it, right? And I mean, I'm still on that journey, and it is difficult for me, because
it's for all of us.
Yeah,
it is breaking your pattern. You're breaking your comfort zone. It can never be easy.
Path
can never ever be easy. All right, Mirela. Sorry. So just to continue. So I wanted to know. Just based on everything you said, so now in your there has to be moments, where not everything was very happy, so there has to be like those down times that we all gone through. How did you maintain your faith in Mohanji during your down times? Like what I know you mentioned about that hug, but what else do you think helped you? What helps you to get through that?
What helps me, because I mean, there are moments, when I smoke too much, there are moments, when I don't have discipline. There are moments when I don't have structure, and what really, it is, this, that he is not judging me, and that he knows exactly everything about me, and that in spite of it, he's there for me. So through him, now I'm going to get emotional. Through him, I'm learning how to accept myself, because it was and it is so difficult for me to accept myself. I always have that, thing that if I don't do something perfectly, that then I'm not good enough.
Yes.
And then, so you have those, like your life is like a pendulum, like you're doing everything like perfectly, and then you just can't hold it, and then you just, go completely on the floor, right? So, and it still happens to me, but I mean, I think that now I have much more tools, to get up faster. And of course, I mean, Justin, because I know that he knows I'm like that. And it is okay. So I'm doing the best I can. So because of him, I'm more compassionate with myself. So this is, for example, something that this is like a big transformation. That I can feel that this is big transformation. In my relationship with myself. I don't know. See, because
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because I was very, how can I say? I wasn't very lenient with myself. I'm like very harsh on myself. So that is, and so because of his teaching, as his presence and his acceptance, I'm learning, to accept myself, and I'm very doubtful of myself. And then, for example, then when he says, when you doubt yourself, you doubt. I'm like, no, I
I know what you mean. And it's so it's so funny. And when I because I relate to a lot of things you just said right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. I'm like, am I talking or is she talking, is what I was thinking. But I relate with it, a lot of it as well. I think I'm very harsh. I'm very harsh on myself as well. So I know what you mean. And and I understand today, what a blessing it is to be an Acharya. And so even when I slip a little bit, I feel so guilty. I'm like, oh my God, Mohanji made me an Acharya. And today, if I don't wake up early, or I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Mohanji gave me, like, he's doing so much for me, right? So I know exactly what you mean. And acceptance is not easy of yourself. And I totally relate with that.
And that is the reason why he's telling us that all the time,
accept yourself. Accept. It's not easy.
Yes. But it's not easy.
Okay, so coming back, so now in your journey with Mohanji, and we were together even at the Serbian training, we got the training together. Was there any moment where you just said, wow, oh my God, I cannot believe this happened? Like, something that completely blew your mind?
No, I mean, it was, there are like several moments, but I mean, I think, but I'm just like looking, I was just like watching everything, like it's like a movie for me, so I'm just like, I don't know, then there was this, I can't say. I think that hug with Mohanji was, like something that really, that was like really, like impactful for me. But later on, what happened? For example, when we were in Belgrade and we went to Kalemegdan, that is one place there, and I felt, like. Like when you feel, like Mohanji's presence, or energy. But I thought, of course, our mind is always justifying, explaining. So I don't know, it's like a hot day, I'm thirsty, I'm tired, and it was crazy, because later on, I think that Maheshwari, or I'm not sure who, took a photo and of us there, and actually on on those photos there was the image of Mohanji.
Wow.
Yeah, there was. I mean, it was incredible, But I mean, like 5 minutes before that, I had that feeling, of like this, like heaviness in body, like like something is going on. You see. And then, and he was there, with the same shirt, the t-shirt that he was, like wearing when we were at this Acharya training. And I mean, it was incredible, So, so now I'm just like, I don't know, just like accepting all of those things, as a blessings. And as well, I mean, when we were in the Acharya training, and when this girl was talking like Sai Baba, as well, for me, that was, I was so shocked, that I was, and when I was like, what is this? This is
what
like,
happened?
Potter and Matrix movie, like. No, I was like, there are so many things, that are somehow familiar to me, but at the same time, I cannot like really like connect to it.
Connect to it, yes.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know
understood.
How to,
I understood what you meant. Yeah, and okay. All right. So I think I probably go to the last question now, Mirela, because I think so now you are an Acharya, right? And so how is your life changed after being an Acharya? And even perhaps go a little bit earlier, just a little bit earlier than your
Yeah.
decision to become an acharya, and how your life changed after you became an acharya.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think actually that I wasn't, as with all of the things, and I think because of my background and as well, because here in Peru, you know, I don't have anybody, or I didn't have anybody, you know, to talk about it, you know. So I really, all things just came. I don't know why
Naturally,
and how.
naturally,
Yeah, somehow naturally. So it is not, you know, that I like decided, you know, on that. Um, I don't know. It just happened. I really think that it just happened through me because I remember when I said to Mohanji that, okay, I'm going to open Mohanji Peru. And I said it on that retreat in Juar, and then immediately I was like, who said that, you know, because I mean, yeah, I just didn't have, I said it, but actually I wasn't aware that I said it.
Wow.
So it was, actually I didn't even know what Acharya means. And I didn't even know, you know, like everything that goes with it. But I had that feeling, you know, that I wanted, actually, as I'm very, you know, like mind oriented or intellect oriented, I just thought, oh, like being Acharya, so I'm going to learn more, You see, I'm like very, I'm going to learn more, so I'll be better prepared to share his teachings.
Yeah.
You see, so that was it, you see. So I didn't know anything else about it, you know. And then when we were in Serbian training, you know, when I really saw, you know, like what I got into, you know, and the meaning of it, you know, I freaked out, you know, because it was, you know, like because Mohanji was saying, you know, like about how we should be, you know, and I know, you know, that that tamas is still a big issue for me, you know, and that is the reason that I just prayed, you know, I just told Mohanji, please, you know, just you know, I don't want that tamas in my life, and it is, you know, it is every day. It's every day, you know, like a decision and a struggle, you know. I can say because my mind wants tamas, you know, and there is that struggle between my mind and I don't know, probably my spiritual path, you know, that so, but I can say that last probably months I've been feeling you know, like more like centered. And I've been feeling much better about myself. So something I can feel that in the last months something has shifted. But still there is a lot of ownership, doership, fears. And I'm just like saying, okay, in spite of all of it, I'll do it, you know, I'll do it. But it is because definitely without Mohanji and without being an Acharya, definitely I wouldn't have left my comfort zones, definitely. Because definitely that is, you know, 100%, because my mind would always find the justifications and explanations. But now, because there is a higher purpose for what I'm doing. So you know, my fears, you know, and you know, they seem just so petite and unimportant. But I feel them, you know. So
well, you know, even the fear of coming live, doing live shows, I had a huge fear of, oh my God, it took me such a long time to accept that I'm supposed to do this.
There are so many fears, but okay, I just say, okay, there are fears are there, but I'll do it. And now it is much easier here for me because at the beginning it was just me. So it was, you know, like, but now there are, you know, people, you know, who are, like, we have a team, So it is different because I can talk to them, and then we talk. Oh yeah, today Tamas, like this, like that. Okay, but then together, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's do this and let's do that. So it is. I mean, that's exactly what it was. Mohanji said, like friendship. Friendship, actually, with the people, that are on the same path, gives you stability.
It does. I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So Mirela, I think we are on time. So before leaving, would you like to share, like if people want to contribute to Mohanji Peru, how should they contact you, or
Right.
or what should they do?
Yeah. Oh, well, they could write on Peru no, Peru. How do you say?
Peru at mohanji.org.
Yeah, .org. Yes.
Yes.
And I got confused with languages. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is yes, Peru at mohanji.org. And because we have here, actually, we received some help from United States and as well from Canada. And as well from some, Mohanji's followers here in Peru because of our programs. And we're helping 2 houses for elderly people, 1 house for kids who are rescued from the street, then as well to a village that is in Cusco. I mean, if they would like to help us, they're more than welcome, because there's, the situation here in Peru, it's not easy. But I mean, we're doing our best, and that is beautiful. That Mohanji's teaching, you see, of adding value to society is like everything is there. Yeah, because if you want to add value to a society, you have to get out of your comfort zones, and you're going to grow. So I mean, so everything is there in that selfless service, in that adding value to your society. So the whole growth of us is there. So
amazing, and I know you're doing wonderful work in Peru, Mirela.
With the team, with my team, with Peruvian team, right now.
Yeah.
Now there is thanks God, there is a team, and we have as well people from Mohanji Foundation who are like guiding us. Because I mean, I hadn't had any experience with all of this. So we're now as well doing a 41-day of meditation. And for example, we did this Trayambaka mantra here in Peru for 21 days. We just finished that last week, and it was incredible, to do it here with the Spanish-speaking people, who had never tried it before, and how they felt. So it was, it was nice.
Amazing. So thank you, Mirela. I believe we are on time. I think we spoke for almost an hour, which is amazing. I think this is the most fun I've had with any interviews.
Oh, really? Thank you.
I think it's so much fun. I think you're so amazing, and it is so great.
Too.
Thank you. It's so great to speak with you. So thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate that very much, Mirela. Thank you. And
yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Jai Mohanji.
Jai Mohanji.